Caucasian race.
That's right, brother.
So it says, and one of 8 persons to live through the flood, he became the progenitor of the dark races, not the Negroes, but the Egyptians, Ethiopians, Libyans, and Canaanites. It's indecency, and that's just the point.
That's it right there, man. So we're not, they teach us in school that we're Africans. I don't know if you are experiencing maybe like the rock Polynesian. Okay, what is that? Like it's Filipino, I have a lot of Hawaiian, yeah, like the rock. I can see it right here, man. You too? Philippines, man. A lot of our people are in the Philippines, man. There's a brother over there teaching. He's teaching the name of Yahushua. He's like, yo, Shalom. He's called Israelite in the Philippines. And he woke up to the truth, man. A lot of y'all are, I spoke with a Filipino over there. A lot of y'all have a lot of Mexican and Latino in it. They're even trying to do away with the title of Filipino. You hear about this? Look into it, man. They talking about it this year. And they titled y'all Filipinos after King Philip of England. He conquered y'all in 1555. You know what I'm saying? So that's why y'all titled that. Y'all are most of y'all are Israelites, man. From the Latino tribe. You know what I'm saying? So we were scattered around the 4 corners of the earth. But the Lord's about to return. Everybody has no idea how he's going to return. He's going to return in just a World War III. Y'all seeing it happen. We were teaching about it before it happened. Before it started kicking off, And the Bible speaks about it. You got that Revelation 11 real quick. Revelation 11, third wall. Check this out real quick. Third wall. We don't bash anybody. Just, we like to edify. You make your choice. But the Father's true name is Yahweh. The Son is Yahushua. Our people were Hebrews. They spoke the Hebrew. So people would say Yisrael, Yehuda, as the Ben Yehudi, modernizing the Hebrew, still modernizing it to this day. How to say train in the Hebrew, how to say phone in the Hebrew. That's fake Hebrew. That's called Yiddish. You know what I mean? Yiddish means Jewish. My man, yo. Sure, bro. We like Irish or something? English? Italian. German on your dad's side? German on my mom's side. Italian on my dad's side. Yo, a lot of the Italians are Israelites. The Sicilians. A lot of the Sicilians, I don't know what you are, but a lot of the Sicilians are Israelites. You walk around with light skin, and you can mess around being so-called Negro or Latino. You gotta look up Via Latina, and it's over there. The Roman, it's like a Roman Catholic burial site over there called the Catacombs of Rome. You know what I'm talking about? And the Catacombs of Rome, they built them as natural hollows for the Jews. The Jews would they would die, and the Roman Empire wanted to burn the bodies, cremate them. That was against our belief. So the rich of our nation, they started buying out the hollows, saying we're burying Mary. So they was in the catacombs, and they painted pictures of themselves over the grave. They got afros, dark skin, man. So yeah, over the Roman Empire in Italy. I think the term Italy comes from just the language that was spoken in that land called at that time. That was the Latin or something like that. You know what I mean? I think Latin just means land, the language of the land. So that's why you're speaking that tongue. So you're the Edomite or you're an Israelite, man. Something about you, bro.
This Revelations 11.
You never know. You never know. Ain't important.
This Revelations 11, verse 14. The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly.
That's right, man. So the second woe is past, and behold, the third woe is coming quickly. It's right in the Bible. Man. They don't teach us about this. But when the Lord shows up, what's that? Let's get something when the Lord shows up. Man. But I don't know what type of book is that? The Book of Mormon? Yeah, he came up with his own thing, man.
So we believe that the Bible is like where Jesus was and the whole story there. And at the beginning of the Book of Mormon, it describes a family who left Jerusalem before it was destroyed and came over to the Americas. And it's the record of those people there. And so we believe that Joseph Smith was directed by God to translate the Book of Mormon.
Yeah, man.
I feel like it doesn't really directly even correspond with our religion. I believe purely that the Book of Mormon is the word of God. And I believe that.
Yeah, it's only one word, though. We got to make it a many book. Yeah, check this this out, bro. We got we just now about to break bread and set up teaching, man. 1 second. I got the Bible app, man. Y'all know about the MOTV? You know, I can't say it on camera. Yeah. Come on with it. Yeah. That's what's going on right now. Right? I can't say it because they cut people's pages up, stuff like that. I mean, so it's that serious. You try to warn somebody, they shut our pages down. Yeah. So I can't tell you everything. You know what I mean? But that's what's going on right now, all over the world. Right? They're going to the next page. Klaus Schwab, you see all these people. They're the ones that run it. They shut it down. Bro, he was big on Israel, man. Yeah, bro. Yeah, man.
12. And further, by these, my son, be admonished of making many books. There is no end, and such study is a weariness of the flesh.
Right, so making a many books, there is no end, you know. But he said, we gotta comfort each other for what? With these words. These are the words. He said, "For the Spirit of the Lord, Spirit of prophet, Spirit of prophet." Right. The testimony of the Lord, Spirit of prophet. All right.
So ultimately, whatever you subscribe to as far as spirituality, it's not according to what's going on in the present life, all right, or the future, then it's not solid, it's not valid according to the word of God, which is only one God, there's only one creator. So if you believe that the God who created the Book of Mormon, he has to show fruit and show fruit compared to what the Lord is putting forth.
That's right. They grab Revelation 19 and 10. Check this out real quick. It's beautiful, man. We break bread, man. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot. We in the time of prophecy, you know what I mean? Hey, you know what the word prophecy means?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah, people that like prophesy. It's like
Cool, man. Yep. The word prophesy comes from the word free, and fasai means to say. Or to say before. You know what I mean? But to say before from what? Like, you know, from our own heart? From just somebody making it up? How are we going to warn the people from that book? When he said the warnings are in here, you know? He came down, when Yahushua came down here to talk to his people, he came to give a message straight from the Father of what he was about to do. You can't change that, you know what I mean? Not you, but not for the altar that. Any other book, he said, any other angel bringing any other message, something like that? Any other testimony? Yeah, go ahead, bro.
This Revelation 19 and 10, and I fell at his feet to worship him. This Revelation 19 and 10, and I fell at his feet to worship him. And he said unto me, see thou do it not. I am thy fellow servant and of thy brethren that have the testimony of Yahushua.
There you go. See that? Yep, go ahead.
Worship Yahweh, for the testimony of Yahushua is the spirit of prophecy.
There you go. See that? So the testimony, it's about the testimony. You know, the testimony of Yahushua is the spirit of prophecy. See that? So that's how you know how to find his prophet. Because we say before the Lord destroyed any kingdom, he woke up prophet.
Yeah, this is
All right, bro.
All right, this is the book of Isaiah,
Isaiah 84.
chapter 8, verse 20. To the law and to the testimony, if they speak not according to this word, it is because there is no light in them.
There you go. To the law and to the testimony. To the law. So we're speaking about the law now, you know? So now we go to Isaiah. Now go to Psalm 147 and 19. Look at this. Right? So now we deal with the law, Romans 9. Who was the law given to? It was given to Moses, right? But Moses came and gave it to the Israelites. So they're the only ones that can break that law and get punished for that law, and never get forgiven for that law. That's repentance. Come back to the Lord. Become his children again. And he said to the testimony. And that's when we start getting into the Messiah, Peter, Paul, you know. Their testimony of thus Lord. Romans 10. Yep. And whichever one you got. All right, this is the book of Romans, chapter 10. What you want to hear without preaching?
Romans 10 and 1. Yeah, let's start there. Let's start there.
All right. All right, this is the book of Romans, chapter 10. Well, I can start from verse 1 and skip down.
Okay.
All right, this is the book of Romans 10 and chapter 1. Brethren, my heart's desire and prayer to the Most High for Israel is that they might be saved.
That's what Paul was giving his life for. That's what he was sent out to. Remember Peter was sent to what we would call the Jews. They were called the circumcision. They were the ones that were keeping the law, you know. They were the ones that were circumcising their children on the 8th day. And they, you know, they was real strict on it. But Yahushua came to tell them, like, that's not going to save you. You know, we already cursed. There's no way we keep it perfect. You're not going to look at the Most High when he shows up and say, I did it perfect. You're going to say, no, you help me to believe in you through faith, to believe in through not sin. You know, help make me perfect now. Take me up, deliver us, and make us perfect. Give us new bodies. Take us out of this flesh. You know, change our flesh. Go ahead.
For I bear them record that they have a zeal of God, but not according to knowledge.
Yeah, so people have a compassion. That's what the word zeal means, a compassion to the Father, but just not according to knowledge. Right? So it got to be according to the knowledge, according to the truth. And what does knowledge deal with? If you go back to the book of Proverbs, knowledge deals with fear of the Lord. You know, so our people don't have any truth. Well, the world doesn't have any true fear of the Father, man. You know, they hold all these many books that have been made, but it's only one testimony. It's only one book where people gave their life for the truth. And that's these men right here, all the prophets of the Bible. You know what I mean? Going all the way back to Samuel. You know, he's one of the main prophets. Go ahead, brother.
For they being ignorant of God's righteousness and going about to establish their own righteousness, have not submitted themselves unto the righteousness of God.
That's Joseph Smith. See that? That's Joseph Smith. He had not. He went about to establish his own righteousness, just like the Baptists. You know what I mean? That was all different sections of people setting up their own churches. Some for income, you know. Around, I forgot the guy's name, man. It was around 1900 or 1800. He set up the Baptist, what's it called, Baptist Church. You know, that's what I was before I got to the truth. And that was just another sect because they weren't baptizing babies. He said, well, sure, I can baptize babies. And I get money that way. It was all money scheme. All the churches, not you, you know, the church is, they're all in the 501c3 charter contract. You can ask, what is a 501c3 charter with the IRS? That means all the churches, for them to teach in America, they got to be under that contract. All right, and within that contract, they cannot speak the truth. It's in there. There's a clause in there. They cannot talk about politics. And in politics, you don't find the truth. You know, when you talk about politics, you start talking about war. You know, you start talking about laws. You know what I mean?
At a job, they tell you it's a separation between religion, politics, and the state.
There you go. See that?
You get a 501c3 charter, being partnership with the government, you under that same.
Right, man. So that's why you know the Lord said, "What He will not look at that." Yeah, go ahead, bro.
All right, I'm gonna skip down to verse 13 of Romans chapter 10. For whosoever, Shalaki, shall call upon the name of the Lord shall be saved.
See that? That's what everybody teaches the whole world, right? Whoever. Go ahead.
How then shall they call on him in whom they have not believed?
See that? So they, you know, go ahead.
And how shall they believe in him in whom they have not heard? And how shall they hear without a preacher?
Right, these people out here, they're walking in the spirit of death. You know, the congregation of the dead. So their spirits are dead until the light comes to them and wakes them up. You know, just like now. All right. So he said, how can you hear unless that preacher be sent from the Father? You know what I mean? Not one person, but the Lord said He's waking up 144,000 men. You see different cultures of it. You know what I'm saying? Different ages, all that. And that's how the Lord works. Not one man. You know what I mean? Go ahead, brother.
And how shall they preach except they be sent?
Right. So how can they preach except they be sent? Other than that, they're spewing out lies, man. You know what I mean? I'm sure if we go through, I think that book, if he wrote it, you know, kind of made up his own, If we go through it, I guarantee you we can find a lot of discrepancies. You know what I mean? All right, but not in this book. But not in this one.
Bible it just has record of the people in the
It's like a record. It's like a chronicle.
Yeah. Well, it's other prophets.
In American country.
Yeah.
Like for instance, you got one.
So like the very beginning is Lehi, and he takes his family from Jerusalem over to the Americas, and then they start their story from there. And Lehi passes it down to Nephi, who prophesies and becomes a prophet.
Where are they at now?
They are all dead, but their ancestors are the Native Americans now.
The ancestors. That's deep. I can't. Hey, that's deep. That's probably something to do with the Gad. You know. But the Gadites, because they did come over here. You know, the Gadites. That's what the Native Americans are there called Gadites.
Okay.
All right. But let's get Malachi the last chapter real quick. Let's see how the Lord promised His return.
Okay.
All right. This how you know when the Lord's showing up and when His men's gonna show up. Prophesied before many countries.
I get it.
All right, this is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 28 and verse 8. The prophets that have been before me and before the time Shalaki and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms, of war and of evil and of pestilence.
What's that? War, evil, and pestilence. That goes down the line of prophecy. You know, you warning somebody, yo, y'all better wake up. What did Noah do? He prophesied, you know, and he kept warning everybody it was about to rain. You know, it never rained before. It was a dew from the ground in the morning. You know, the ground is moist. It gets cold at night. From the sun heats it up. It gets cold at night. It creates dew in the morning. But they were like, no, they ain't never rained. And now the Lord said He's not going to destroy the earth with water. He's going to destroy it with fire. But He said, what's that? Wisdom of Solomon 11. Let's get this real quick. So He said He can do it any kind of way, right? Man, it's crazy. He can do it any kind of way, but He chose this way. You know, He said He ruleth in the kingdom of men. A lot of precepts coming to my mind right now. Okay? Oh, you was done? Yeah. All right, that's right. Go ahead. Somebody got something? 11. Yeah. Where I say there's somebody got the other precept. Let me know.
Ruleth in the kingdom of men. He's Daniel 4:17. This matter is by the decree. This matter is by the decree of the watchers, and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whomsoever He will, and set up over it the basis of men.
Yeah. So who did He set up now? The ones that were in the Caucasus Mountain, or what you would call Petra back then, not the Caucasus, but the Petra. You know, they were called Edomites. You know, they were raised up. They used to be called children of base men. You know what I mean? Grunting, all kinds of stuff, whatever. Devil worship. Later on, they started conquering what? The Greek Empire with Alexander. And then you had the Theodosia after him, the four rulers, four successor families. I think it was who was it? What's his name? Epiphany. I can't think of his name right now. Julius Caesar. Julius Caesar. That's the Theodosia. I can't think of the name, but it's not in my mind right now. I think it's Ptolemy, you know what I mean? And I think it was Crassus, Marcus Crassus. I think it's Marcus Crassus. And I could be wrong, but yeah. It was Marcus Crassus, right? If it wasn't Marcus Crassus, it was Cassandra. All right? But he's about to pull it up right now. All right? But so you had them, then you had later on, you had the Roman Empire. You know? And from the Roman Empire, they've been ruling, man. You had the Byzantine Empire. And from the Byzantine Empire, you had the European Union established. From the Roman Empire, the 10 Common Markets. You know what I mean? 7 heads, 10 horns. From the EU, you had America established. World Bank, you know, the IMF, and the Battle of Independence from Britain, right? So that's how America got established through Europe, right? And then from there, you had NATO established. Also the beast. There you go. Thank you. I have Ptolemy. Seleucus. That's the one, man. That's the bloodline Seleucid, yeah. Seleucid Empire. That's the bloodline that Antiochus Epiphanes comes from. All right? But if you read about him in the book of Maccabees, it says he's from the bloodline of the wicked. All right, go ahead.
You got Cassander.
Cassander, definitely was not Crassus. Crassus was part of the triumvirate that was made by the Roman Empire. All right? I think it's 67 AD.
Antiochus.
BC. Huh?
Antiochus.
Oh, no, Antigonus.
Oh, Antigonus.
Yeah, Antigonus. But they killed him. He died. And there was another one. Yeah, he's not supposed to be on there. But, yeah, he killed him and his son Domitian. But yeah, so that so that's everything right there. Go ahead. I got something else.
Wisdom of Solomon.
Let's do Malachi.
This is the book of Malachi, chapter 4 and verse 1. For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, all that do wickedly shall be stubble.
Yeah, so the wicked are going to be stubborn, man. And they've been doing nothing but wickedness. Who ruling the world right now? They call them the Illuminati, But they got families that are ruling the world. That's the Rothschild. The Rothschilds get rid of them. Oh, man, I got to look them up. They the ones that own the money. They own the Federal Reserve. They're not hiding. It's not like we're making them up, But they're called the Rothschild family. The word Rothschild means red shield. And what was Esau titled after being red? He was born with no pigmentation. He was red. All right. So that's what they talk. That's where they come from. Now they the ones that established the banking system. His father, what's his name? Meyer Amschel Bauer. All right, Meyer Amschel Bauer. That was the original name, the Bowers, which means slave. So they were original. Man, Rock. The Rock, no man. I'm telling you, Rock. The Rock, man. Yeah, he got his movie coming out called Black Adam. You know about that? Oh man, man. He got a new movie coming out called Black Adam. Yeah, man. Can't do it. I know, man. I'm just messing with him. I know. I want to make sure you listen, man. See, the Lord not about all that. The Lord, he said we're not supposed to be overly righteous. And he said, watch. You gotta be able to see what's going on. You know what I mean? You can't turn your eyes to it. You know what I mean?
In the day that cometh shall burn them up, saith the Lord of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch.
Right, you got the part where it says Elijah.
I'm going to skip down to verse 5 of Malachi chapter 4.
Right, not Joseph Smith. Check this out. This is the Lord going to send.
Behold, I will send you Elijah the prophet before the coming of the great and dreadful day of the Lord.
Right, see that? So Elijah, did you know he came back in the Bible as John? When John was on the earth, the prophet John the Baptist that was baptizing people, that was Elijah back in the flesh. Yeah, he didn't even believe it. They said, "Yo, are you the prophet Elijah?" He said, "No, I'm not that prophet." He said, "Are you the Messiah?" He said, "No, I'm not the Lord." And then when they asked the Messiah, they said, "Yo, you know who that is, right? That's Elijah. That was spoken of. That was for to come." Okay. So he said, "This is Elijah." But this scripture here in Malachi is not talking about that time. That's talking about now. All right. So it spoke about the fire, the destruction. Remember that? It burned like an oven. So before that day, the Lord was going to send Elijah. And he spoke right here on the soils of America. His name was Albert Bivens. Big dark-skinned brother. Big giant beard. He was speaking up in New York. And he spoke in the 1960s, man. That's when America started falling. You feel me? That's when the spirits first started being spoken out here. It started from him to other men, and then all the way up to us today. So that's the body being created, the light going all the way out, starting from one light to many.
Okay.
All right.
What's the are you guys a denomination?
That's cool, man. We're Israelites, and the word Israelite comes from the word Yasha'Allah. Yah means he, Shar means prince, and Allah means just power. It's just a title, But his name is important. He said, those that call on his name shall be saved. You know what I mean? He said, hear these words, ye men of Israel. So it's only for the Israelites, the Negro, Latino, Native Americans, La Familia, Jesus Cristo no Blanco.
¿Cómo está?
That's right. That's right, man. You do the rest.
Always sign out, God.
Okay.
That's right, man.
Good.
Let's get precept, brother. You got precept, good.
This is wisdom of this is Sirach or Ecclesiastes, chapter 24, verse 1. It says, wisdom shall praise herself and shall glory in the midst of her people. So wisdom is going to praise herself and glory in the midst of her people. The midst of her people are the children of Israel, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. We're the ones who have the understanding of this book. Everybody else does not have this understanding of this book. That's why you have so many different renditions and translations of one book, because it's just man's understanding. But wisdom is going to be praised of her people, the people that it was first originally given to, which are the Israelites. Go back to ancient Egypt. The laws, statutes, and commandments were given unto the Israelites, not any other nation. Delivered from up under those other nations. But things kept happening because our people kept being disobedient. But the instructions are given unto Israel and Israel only.
Right, man. But the Lord said this.
Matthew 24:14. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come.
Ooh, see that? So this gospel from back then, not a chain gospel, not records, right? But that testimony, that warning, that's what got to go out. Now, what did the Lord come to warn us about? Look at that. The mystery of iniquity. What's another one? Oh, nation rise against nation. There's this note right here. Let's get some names real quick.
Matthew?
Yeah.
This is Matthew 24, verse 7.
Right. He said, wait, somebody get that. It came to send fire to earth.
It says, for nation shall rise against nation.
That's how the Lord's showing up. You hear about Russia, you hear about Ukraine. That's the start of World War III. World War III already started. You know, that was NATO trying to move their missiles up to the borders of Russia and through Ukraine. You know what I mean? And now this week or next week, Biden's talking about sending missiles over there to back up Ukraine. And Russia said, if you do that, we're gonna get all the proxies. We're gonna strike America on the shore. What are they gonna strike them with? Missiles. They're gonna go into nuclear war, man. Russia said they ready to do that. They started brandishing all their weapons. You heard about the Vanguard? Man, see what I'm saying? All this stuff will catch you off blindsided. You know what I mean? All right, go ahead.
It says, for nation shall rise against nation.
Right. Burning the fuel of fire.
And kingdom against kingdom.
Right. So now the kingdom against kingdom are going. You know, nation against nation, proxy wars. You know, race wars. You know, kingdom against kingdom. Now it's going to be world power against world power. You know, China just threatened America over Taiwan the other day. North Korea over South Korea. See the war kicking off? Iran. They got an issue with the nuclear deal because they try to remove NATO's cameras from their building. Whole long story, but you know, the whole nuclear deal. Nuclear. Let's get that. Somebody got it? Yeah. All right, go ahead. Okay.
This is
how the Lord gonna return.
This is Matthew chapter 24, verse 7. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes.
I'm gonna pause on each one. You hear about the dollar crash coming? Dollar crash. You hear about that? They got to study money too. They're bringing something called Fed coin. They're going from the fiat currency that was established in 1913 with America, and then remember the Bretton Woods Agreement in 1944, when all the nations decided to make the dollar the world currency, the world reserve currency. They did away with that with the Nixon shock in 1971. But they stole they removed the gold from the dollar, right? So now they trying to do away with the whole paper currency system in every country, and they want to move toward digital. Okay, see that? So in order to do that, they got to crash the old system. But now they need a new whore, because America's the whore that's spoken of in the Bible. You know, the great whore, that's America. It got pimped by Europe. You know, Europe used America, created the dollar for America, said, hey, send that fake money out, and we're gonna steal all the resources from all the nations that got gold, and you know what I mean? Once we take all their resources, like Russia had to get dollars so they can do deals. It's the world currency. So they had to exchange something for them dollars. You feel me? So now the funny money, they want to do away with the fiat currency, funny money,
and they want to move toward digital, a whole nother level. And by doing that, you lose all control, all privacy, all freedom. You know what I'm talking about? You know, probably caught window. It's like, damn, it's coming together now. Go ahead, brother.
The book of Habakkuk, chapter 2 and verse 6. Shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his? How long? And to him that laddeth himself with thick clay.
Right. So how long will America increase that which is not his, man? This is not even a country. It's a United States corporation with a manager, a president, you know, like a business, right? Who's the owner of it? Europeans, you know, the Federal Reserve. Right?
Shall they not?
So he said, my bad. Woe unto them that woe unto him that ladeth himself with thick clay. Yeah, I see that. I see that. Now if you look up thick clay, that word clay right there, is debt. So we can look it up. It means heavy debt. So America has laden itself with heavy debt. You know the debt is real high right now. See? So you know, bro. So the debt market is real high. The debt level is real high. So it's like, how long is America going to increase, acting like it's the world power still? You know what I mean? It's like a portrait being painted right before you. I am kind of crazy. Right, that's the Lord doing, man. So let's keep going, brother. Like that.
Shall they not rise up suddenly that shall bite thee, and awake that shall vex thee, and thou shalt be for booties unto them?
Yeah. So all the nations are rising up out of nowhere, and they all, you're seeing it, they're all ganging up against America now. So even the nation of Hawaii, that island, is gonna be destroyed, man. You know? So you gotta run your family, you know. But where's the warning? You know what I'm saying? Coming from? It gotta be this type of message. Hey, don't take it when it comes around to you. When it comes to your table, they ask you to, you know, don't do it, man. Don't do it. I don't care if your life depends on it. I don't care if you got to hungry. Don't do it, man. You know, if you have the elect, if you have Israel, if you have these people, you never know until that day. These are the Israelites. All right? But, you know, of course, I told you, we scattered everywhere. You know what I mean? So we look Chinese and all that, you know what I'm saying? But you just never know. What's his name? Blake Griffin. That's who you kind of remind me of. Okay. Blake Griffin in the NBA. Damn, man, I feel sorry for y'all, man. Nah, they can't do that. Yeah, like the Amish, man. Break that shit up, brother.
It's because thou hast spoiled many nations. All the remnant of the people shall spoil thee because of men's blood, for the violence of the land, of the city, and of all that dwell therein.
Right. So because of the blood that they shed with the Native American Indians, see that? People forget about this. All right. What's that? Isaiah prepared slaughter? See, people forget about this. And they're like, they touch the apple of the Lord's eye. You see what I'm saying? And the Filipinos. You know? Look at that. These are Native Americans. Look at that, man. He was a young brother, man. What was his name again? Emmett Till. Yeah, I got a lot of deep topics in my mind. So like, certain things, though, like filtering out. So Emmett Till, man. Look what they did to his face. They killed him for whistling at a Caucasian woman. He just whistled at it. He was a little 10-year-old boy, 13-year-old boy. He whistled at it like, this man's funky, you know? He wasn't gonna do nothing, just whistling at it. You know, and they butchered his face, put his face to a metal engine fan, and burned his body in oil, and threw his body in the water. His mom smelled his body miles away. Come to see him, you know. So yeah, man, look at that. Look what they did to us, and look at that, burned him alive, and they sat around and smiling, you know. And this was around the time, you know, Joseph Smith and them was establishing their churches. You know what I'm saying? So what mindset was around at that time? It was the mindset of colonizing, you know, and they were bringing over what was called, they were bringing over here something that was called Christianity. And Christianity is the biggest witchcraft on our people today. The Lord never said one be a Christian because the name not Christ, right? The name Christ goes back to Krishna, which is the Elamite, downhead Indian god, right? You can look this stuff up, Krishna. He never said call the name Jesus. You know, we talked about that. That means Zeus. And Zeus, if you look up Zeus, Zeus goes back to Rome, and Zeus goes back to Baal. You know what I'm saying? So we're not supposed to call him on that name. We gotta find out his true name. It's Yahweh, right? So what was my point, man? So what happened to these people? They gotta pay for that, all right? And they never paid for that, you know.
Isaiah chapter 14, verse 21. Prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers, that they do not rise nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities.
So they've been filling the face of the world with cities since the Roman Empire and you know, the establishment of America. So there you go. They came over to bring what's called Christianity, man. And Christianity was established in 325 AD at the Council of Nicaea with Constantine. And the whole debate was the Holy Trinity. There's no Holy Trinity. You know, there's no such thing as the Holy Trinity. So it's only the Father, His Son, and the Spirit of truth that's on His Son. That's the Spirit. That's the Holy Spirit. You know, but they teach in churches that the Holy Trinity and all that. No, that's I mean, almost. It's the Father, a separate being, which is His Son, but that Spirit is on His Son. Okay. See that? But it's the Spirit of truth. It's like He's the cup that He poured wisdom into first. Okay. And now His cup pours into our cup. Okay. See that? Yeah. So that's His Son. You know what I mean? So, but He's a separate entity, man. Yeah. Yep. Right, go ahead.
So, not to be rude, but we actually have to go pretty soon. But thank you guys for sharing with me.
Yeah, man. We on YouTube, man. You can look us up, man. The Lions Den.
Lions Den?
Yeah, you just walked into it. Yeah, thank you, man. You Italian, man. You might be an Israelite, The Rock.
There you go.
All right, bro. Filipinos, man. Remember I told you.
All right.
Hey, but The Rock, man. Come on, man. You gotta see the movie, man.
Got you, bro. You're gonna like it.
All right, man.
All right. Shalom, shalom.
Yeah, it was good, man. Let's get into it. Yeah, anybody got precepts they want to bring up?
This is 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 11. It says, "For no other foundation can no man lay than that is laid, which is Yahushua HaMashiach." So no man can lay any other foundation. You cannot come up with any other rendition of the truth. That is another foundation. The only foundation is Yahushua HaMashiach. That is the foundation. That's how the Heavenly Father set it up. No other foundation can be laid outside of that. Anything outside of that is falsehood. It's going to fall. It's going to burn. The works thereof will be burnt up in the time of judgment. It's the only thing that's going to stand is Yahushua and the foundation. Right. That's what's going to stand. This word. Nothing else is going to stand. Right. This is the foundation. This is the root in which you must be founded and built upon in order to grow. You cannot grow from any other foundation. Every other foundation is man-made.
Right, man. And they call themselves elders. Yeah, elders that, but they ain't know anything, man. They're not even allowing them to know anything. Dude can't even watch movies. So, yeah, he said, I was like, yo, the dude look like The Rock. And I was like, yo, you heard of the movie Black Adam? He said, nah, we can't watch movies. I was like, damn. You heard of Blake Griffin? He said, nah, we can't. We're not allowed to watch.
You know why? They all come from specifically like Midwest of America, and they all go to school, and they have to pay to do what they're doing right now. They have to pay like a few $1,000s. They have to pay the Mormon school a few $1,000s, and the Mormon school sends them out and puts them in different cities and stuff like that. So
wasting their money.
That's crazy. I never heard that because I was in a basketball league with Mormons, and they were doing all kinds of shit. Like, that's the first time I heard that them not being able to watch TV.
They must be tightening the ropes. Let me get this real quick.
Yeah, they must have been unorthodox Mormons.
Yeah.
Right, somebody get Proverbs, right? Unorthodox, yeah. Proverbs 23 and 23.
Proverbs chapter 23, verse 23. Hearken unto thy father that begat thee, and despise not thy mother.
No, Proverbs 23 and 23.
This is Proverbs chapter 23, verse 23. Buy the truth and sell it not, also wisdom and instruction and understanding.
There you go, man. So Joseph Smith, in his system that he said that he established before his death, I don't think it ran. Oh yeah. So
water.
system that he established, the Lord said, what? Buy the truth and sell it not. All right? And they out there selling the truth, man. You know, telling people to spend thousands of dollars. Yeah, they buying. Thank you, man. Thank you. They out there buying garbage, man. That's right. Oh, that's right, man. All right, go ahead. No, yeah, whenever you're ready. Yeah, go ahead.
All right, this is the book of Proverbs, chapter 14, verse 12. There is a way which seemeth right unto a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death. God, and I brought that out to back up the Akim, man. You know, just like the brother Nakar was saying, man, this is the foundation. You know, this is what we're supposed to build upon. You know, we don't suppose to pick and choose what we want to believe and may come up with our own damn ways, man.
Right.
You know, because in the end of that road is death, man, if you choose your own ways. You know.
All right. Somebody grab Luke 21 and 15 about the stuff.
It's the book of Matthew 13 and 44. Again, the kingdom of heaven is like unto a treasure hid high in a field.
That's right, brother.
Which when a man hath found, he hide it, and for joy thereof goeth and sell it all that he had,
right,
and buy up that field.
Right. Right. And the field is the world. All right. So the truth is hidden in the earth. And it's hidden in the men of the Lord, man. You know, so you're supposed to, and by selling the field, meaning you're supposed to let go of the world, man. You know, and cling on to the truth. All right, brother.
I got a precept.
It's the book of Colossians, chapter 2 and verse 8. Beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit, after the tradition of men, after the rudiments of the world, and not after Yahweh Shai.
Yo, see that? So after the rudiments of the world, and that's what Joseph Smith did. He's sitting there writing chronicles or recordings about the travels of the Native American Indians. How is that going to deliver anybody? How is that going to save anybody? You know? So he said, what? Through the rudiments of the world. That's the world speaking, their imagination. So he said, and not after Yahweh Shai. So we're supposed to speak the testimony of Yahweh Shai, the testimony that Yahweh Shai laid out. All right, and his men. Go ahead, brother. Oh, somebody got that? Go ahead. Very quick.
21 and 8, right?
That's right, yeah, because I knew their arms was too short to box. Well, I thought y'all when we walked up, we saw the Lord was giving us a snack. So we kind of put it on our disguise a little bit. We ain't really butcher them, you know what I'm saying? Just acting like we, you know, edifying.
For the camera, really.
Yeah. I don't believe they Israelites, but you know, I don't believe they Israelites, but that's not up to me.
Sparring.
That was sparring, yeah. That was a spiritual sparring, man. Okay, bro. Oh, who got it?
Luke 21, 8.
Yep.
Luke chapter 21, verse 8. And he said, take heed that ye be not deceived, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am a Mashiach, and the time draweth near. Go ye not therefore.
Oh. And not only saying that they're the Messiah, but that word Messiah right there means anointed. So they're going to be showing up saying that they're anointed by the Lord as well. All right. So many shall come in the Lord, in the Lord's name, not in his name, but in the spirit of this book. But trying to hold this book, and they're going to be claiming they're teaching for the Lord. But how can they teach it except they be sent about Yahweh Shai, man? That's the Lord's true name, Yahweh Shai, so-called black man. Go ahead, brother. Luke 21, 15.
15. Yep. It's Luke chapter 21, verse 15. For I will give you a mouth and wisdom, which all your adversaries shall not be able to gainsay nor resist.
That's right. They can't do nothing about it. They can't do nothing about it. What do you call that in the wrestling? He got him grip. He done. He can't move. That's right, man. Any more preachers bring him out? We might have to move in the shade.
It's the book of Matthew, chapter 7 and verse 19. Every tree that bringeth not forth good fruit is hewn down and cast into the fire. So just the after effects of the Mormon, all right, was the guy who created the Book of Mormons and the Congregation of the Dead, and they're pretty much a part of that Congregation of the Dead, all right, not having the truth and ultimately creating their own tree and thinking it's a way of righteousness when it's not. It's ultimately going to be hemmed down. It's sufficient as Sodom and Gomorrah, man. the last judgment for America, which is the climax of missiles.
Mm-hmm.
Keep going, keep rocking.
It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 8 and verse 20. To the law and to the testimony, if they speak not according to this word, it is because there is no light in them. Fine, I brought it out because the scriptures tell you that Yahushua is the truth, the way, and the light, man. So they're not speaking in that true spirit, knowledge, and wisdom of these scriptures. There's no light in them, man. Case in point, the whole Mormonism, there's no light within that.
All right.
Isaiah 55, verse 1. It says, "Oh, everyone that thirsteth, come ye to the waters, and he that have no money, come ye buy and eat. Yea, come buy wine and milk without money and without price. Wherefore do ye spend money for that which is not bread, and your labor for that which satisfieth not? Hearken diligently unto me, and eat ye that which is good, and let your soul delight in itself in fatness." So that basically I brought that out when the elder had told him to bring out buy the truth and sell it not. And another point that one of the brothers brought out was saying how they got to spend money to go around doing what they're doing so for their ministry. So why are the people spending money for that which is not bread? It's not stuff that's not going to satisfy. All right, so that's why it says, hearken unto him, Yahweh Bashim Shai, all ye that thirst, come and buy without money. You know?
Esau ain't thirsty. They full. They full of doctrine. They full of philosophy. Right. But they the ones put that in the Ivy League schools and all that, getting indoctrinated by their parents of racism. You know.
Yeah, and it was the same thing during the time of Paul. That's what Paul was dealing with. All these different indoctrinations. Our people, yeah, 2/3 of our people that were going off to Egypt to their universities in Egypt, right, coming back, trying to stand up against the men of the Lord. This is nothing new under the sun. The same thing now, same thing then. It's the same thing going on right now. You got these theological, whatever the hell they call these universities, all right, that so-called to teach you world religion and religion of the Bible and this all kind of stuff, this, that, and the third, but it has no value. What it is to turn the mind of 2/3 of our people and keep everybody lost. But the elect are going to be able to see straight through it.
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
It's just a precept to back up what the brother Kanak was saying as far as our people, you know, buying into these religions when they don't know and understand that it's just oppression. The people that run these religions or have come up with these religions is just oppressing the people by getting money from them. This is Proverbs chapter 22, verse 16. He that oppresseth the poor to increase his riches, and he that giveth to the rich shall surely come to want. So these religions are just created to oppress the poor of our people, oppress the humble of the earth, to increase in riches. Every religion that Esau has ever made up is just to get money, and it's very oppressive, and it's very dangerous to the spirit, and given to those that are already rich. When you do that, those that are already rich are eventually going to come to want. They're going to come to actual physical want and spiritual, because there's no light in these other religions. There is no guidance in these other beliefs. They're just set up by men, and they don't profit anybody anything.
It's Proverbs 10 and 2. It says, treasures of wickedness profit nothing, but righteousness deliver from death. All right, so but righteousness is going to deliver you, all right, in a time of trouble. Wickedness and profit is not gonna suffice you in the day of trouble, man. You know, so you can't cling on to man's wisdom, all right, a man's philosophy, man. You know.
Oh yeah, so it's time to go in on Joseph.
It's game on.
Hey, Slug, we're gonna move over here and get some shade. So just walk with us. You need to show them whatever.
Come.
Yeah, come on.
Hello.
Está todavía grabando.
Sí. Oh, this is nice. Woo!
That gap right there. Get right up in here, so tell y'all behind up. Oh, this should be. This might be straight.
Oh, okay.
Show them this view. Look at this view. Oh, right back. My bad. I'll catch this view right here. Look at that. Even that statue gonna be destroyed though.
Time.
Can they even see it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the water. Hey, Shalom, Melissa Israel, Shalom, Nakala. I messed the name all up, but it's good. Yeah, Shalom, Shalom. All right, let's go ahead and get back started.
Yo, by Shemel, what's up, bro? I'm coming to
If you're gonna eat, just eat off camera. Anybody that eat, you know, we can try it. Yeah, just do it, you know, it's probably to do it off camera. But so anybody else? The lesson we're gonna go into today is dealing with the land of milk and honey. All right. Oh, got my card, man. Damn. Brother in the camp, man, he had a question on it, and yeah, the brother in the car put it so eloquently, straight to the point. It's about the abundance, all right. But the abundance of what? You know, that's what I want to go into. All right. That's the land of milk and honey. Let's go to let's start off with Exodus 3 and 7. Huh?
The prayer.
Oh yeah, I'm thinking we already started off. But yeah, we got snuck up on by the Mormons, man. Yeah, we was already in go mode. All right, yeah. So anytime, you know, anyway, as we do any other time, we start off with the prayer to the Lord, man. All right, to the Father and the Son in the true Hebrew. Want to say call, Allah,
La,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Ba'ashem,
Ba'ashem,
Yahushai,
Ba'ashem,
Ha,
Waka, Kodash, Ma'amar.
All right, double honor to the elder apostles of GMS and the elders, and shalom to you, Akim, and our and the children that believe in sincerity and truth are on the four corners of the earth. All right, got a lot of noise around us, so we're gonna try to make this work, man. All right, let's start off with that scripture, that precept.
Exodus 3 and 7.
Yeah, we're gonna go over to 8.
All right, this is Exodus chapter 3, verse 8. It says, "And I am come down to deliver them out of the hand of Egyptians."
Right, so we were in Egypt, all right, in the 1400s, BC, 14th century. Somebody get 2nd Ezra 1 and 20. How you doing, man? We out here to wake up the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans to the fact that we're the true Israelites, the true children of God. That's right. That's right. And the Father's true name is Yahweh, and his Son named Yahushua. That's right. He said before the last days, he was going to show up and give his men the truth so we can warn our people. The ones, you know, going all the way back to the time of slavery. You know, we went into slavery because of a curse that was on our people from breaking the laws. And now we're given a chance to come back and repent to the Father. And his name is Yahweh. And the only way to make it to him, as they say in the Bible, those that call on my name shall be saved. So the only way to make it to our Father, Yahweh, is through Yahushua. So we got to know his name. They say Jesus, but Jesus, that name, that goes back to Zeus. You see that? And that's an idol. That's what got our people in the condition they're in today. That's right. All right, sister. So you getting the truth right here. All right, now, where are we at?
Second Ezra chapter 1, verse 20.
Right.
When ye were thirsty, did I not cleave the rock, and the waters flowed out to your fill? For the heat I covered you with the leaves of the trees. I divided among you a fruitful land, and I cast out the Canaanites, the Perizzites, and the Philistines before you. What shall I yet do more for you, saith the Lord?
Right. So the Lord said he's gonna bring us a fruitful land, right?
Yes.
Right. So that's basically the understanding of a land flowing with milk and honey. All right. The Lord gonna bring us into a fruitful land, but it's not just about the land. You know, Israel is a people before it's a place. So he's gonna make Israel fruitful too. All right, fruitful as a nation, and also fruitful in wisdom. All right. So let's get go back to the Exodus.
Exodus 3 and 8. And I am come down to deliver them out of the hand of the Egyptians.
Right, there you go, the Egyptians, the Africans. Go ahead.
And to bring them up out of the land, up out of that land, unto a good land, and a large, unto a land of flowing with milk and honey.
Right, so this land was literally flowing with milk and honey, man. And that word milk represents abundance of riches and wealth of fruit, you know, giant fruit. And you had literal honey coming from the mountains, man. You know, and part of that milk would also represent the olive. They had mountains. They had mountains that was drenched in olive oil, man. All right. So that land is a very fruitful land, and we're gonna get into the story of how Moses sent out spies to go check out this land, and we're gonna see the type of fruit that he brought back. All right, and that's just the beginning of our blessing.
I got it.
All right. Let me get this real quick. What you got?
Deuteronomy 11 and 10, all the way to 12.
All right, go ahead.
Deuteronomy 11 and 10. For the land whither thou goest in to possess it, it is not as the land of the Egypt from whence he came out.
Right.
Where thou sowest thy seed and waterest it with thy foot as a garden of herbs. But the land whither you go to possess it is a land of hills and valley, and drinketh water of the rain of heaven.
Oh, man.
A land which the Lord thy power careth for. The eyes of the Lord thy power, Yahweh Shai, are always upon it from the beginning of the years even to the end of the years.
Woo. All right, so that's talking about the land of Israel. That's our land. That whole land, really, of the Levant at this point. All right, the land of Israel, man. A land flowing with milk and honey, you know? But we don't just want to be in that land. The Lord gonna give us the earth. He gonna give us planets. All right, so let's stick to the point. Let's get it. Deuteronomy 31 and 20. That was a great precept, bro.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 31 and verse 20. For when I shall have brought them into the land which I swear unto their fathers, that floweth with milk and honey, and they shall have eaten and filled themselves, and waxing fat, then will they turn unto other gods and serve them and provoke me and break my covenant.
Right, so that's what happened. We went into that land. All right, and when we went into that land, our people waxed fat and kicked. That's what it means by they waxed fat and they kicked, man. So they waxed fat, meaning it grew as a nation and in wealth, all right, and in riches and resources. And once our people got that, they started to rebel against the Lord, okay, and go after other guys, man, the idols. That was it on that. All the way to 21.
Verse 21. And it shall come to pass when many evils and troubles are befallen them, that this song shall satisfy against them as a witness, for it shall not be forgotten out of their mouths of their seed.
Right.
For I know their imagination which they go about, even now, before I have brought them into the land which I swear.
Woo, see? So 2/3 were in that spirit even back then. All right. And so what did the Lord say? He said, this song was going to be set up basically as a form of remembrance, man. All right. And now, what's that in Revelations? Only ones that can sing the song? Yeah, cut. So that still stands till this day. All right, that was the actual song. They were singing that. So now we sing the song, man. We got that one extra.
This is Revelation chapter 14, verse 3. And they sung as it were a new song before the throne and before the four beasts and the elders, and no man could learn that song but the 144,000.
Right, not the Mormons, but not Joseph Smith. But nobody can learn this song but the 144,000, man, that was set up to believe in these days, man. Go ahead, brother.
Which were redeemed from the earth.
Right, that's going to be redeemed from this second Egypt. All right, go ahead.
Verse 4.
Oh, that was it on that, right? It's a song, you know. So that was it. Let's get to the, somebody grab Deuteronomy 32 and 9. We're going to go over to 16. Let's get into the story real quick. Yeah, Deuteronomy 32 and 9.
Deuteronomy 32, verse 9. It says, for the Lord's portion is his people.
So, yep, that's the Lord's portion, his people, man. Who's his people? Starting with the Negro, Latino, Native Americans as the foundation. And we branched out and been scattered amongst other nations, man. All right, making us, according to prophecy, the speckled bird. Right up.
For the Lord's portion is his people.
That's his portion, man. That's what's been given to Yahweh Shai. So you better be damn sure he's going to come back and redeem us, man. His jewels, go ahead.
Jacob is the lot of his inheritance.
Right, man.
He found him in the desert land and in a waste howling wilderness. He led him about, he instructed him.
Right, that's why he said this land that we were going into was not like the wilderness. It was not like Egypt. You see that? So this land that we're going into, Israel, is not like America. You know, a desert land. But this place is going to be fruitful. All right, the land of Israel. Go ahead, brother.
It says,
so that's what the Lord said. He said, have I been a wilderness unto Israel? No. You know, instead, the Lord has been fruitful to us, man, and merciful. That's right. Go ahead.
All right, it says,
right, man, Isaiah, what's that, 14? 7 women gonna flock to one man. Right,
it says, he found him in a desert land and in a waste howling wilderness. He led him about, he instructed him, he kept him as the apple of his eye.
Right, so now the Lord is keeping his elect as the apple of his eye. And he's guiding us through this wilderness. All right, somebody get that, he's made the world a wilderness. Is this the man?
14 and
12. I think.
This is Isaiah chapter 14 in verse 12. Art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which did weaken the nations? But thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of Yahweh. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit.
no, I'm not Verse 17.
Verse 17, that made the world as a wilderness and destroyed the cities thereof, that opened not the house of his prisoners.
See that? And that place is called what? Babylon. All right, the daughter of Babylon today. All right, so the Lord brought us into another wilderness. All right, and now we're trying to make it out. We're being guided through this wilderness by what? His voice, by the light. Okay, that's a fruitful land.
Precept.
Go ahead, bro.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 60, and verse 15. Whereas thou hast been forsaken and hated, so that no man went thorough thee, I will make thee external excellency, a joy of many nations, of generations.
That's right, man. So the Lord gonna make that land and the people a joy of many nations, right? So what's that? I was watching a show. I gotta do a video when I get home. This is called Black Man Traveler, right? He went to Pakistan. All right, he went to Pakistan, and in Pakistan, you would think that's a terrorist country, you know. But when he went over there, he's showing how it is over there, and all the women, you know, they love us over there, man. Like literally, the whole country was surrounding him and grabbing his hair, trying to feel his hair and everything. But they wasn't trying to hurt him. You know, the police was asking, "Are you all right? You need anything?" It's like, yo, y'all love us over there. So the Lord when the Lord glorifies Israel, He gonna make us an excellency even to other nations like that. You know, they gonna want us to rule in that day. You know, and the Lord gonna make that land flowing with milk and honey. And we're speaking of the physical term, but we also gonna speak of the parabolic term in a minute. That the milk and honey represents health and healing. All right, health and safety. All right, what does milk represent? Growth as a nation and a land. What does honey represent? Healing. All right, so with healing, it comes with recompense. So all those nations gonna have to recompense everything they took from us. And he said, what? All their wealth is gonna flow into us. That's that flowing with milk and honey. All right, so let's keep going. All the way to 16 or 32 and 9.
Deuteronomy 32 and 11. You want me to start back at the wilderness at 10?
No, you good. All the way to 16.
All right. It says, as an eagle stirreth up her nest, flutteth over her young, spreadeth abroad her wings, taketh them, breatheth them on her wings. So the Lord alone did lead him,
right,
and there was no strange God with him.
There you go. So the Lord stirred us up. How did He do it? He didn't just stir up the situation. He stirred us up in our spirit, starting with Moses. So today He stirred us up. He stirred us up to teach this truth to be delivered. All right. So He said what? He watched over that eagle, right? As an eagle, and what eagles do, what eagles do when eagles want their babies, what would they be called?
Little eagles.
Little eagles. When they want their baby eagles to start flying, they start to break up the nest, and they make the nest real prickly and rough, so that the baby eagle will want to jump out and fly. So that's what the Lord did. He what's it called? Affliction. All right. He chose us in the furnace of affliction, and he caused the Pharaoh at that time to come up against us. Just like now, the Lord gonna cause Esau to put hell on our people, put that pressure on us. So we'll call out to be delivered, man. All right, we'll know it's time to get the hell out of here.
God, so thinking about like Jacob's trouble would be like that prickling up the nest, making us uncomfortable, not wanting to be here and crying out, trying to fly, because this is not our rest, man.
It's not our rest, bro.
We're not supposed to be comfortable here.
This is 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 11. It says, when I was a child, I spake as a child, I understood as a child, I thought as a child, but when I became a man, I put away childish things. In the substance, and the elder and the bishop were just speaking on, man. Hey, us being those small eagles, all right. Hey, us being a child, when it's time to grow and that nest start getting uncomfortable, we had to put on our shoes and stand up like a man, man. You know, get out here and present our bodies as a living sacrifice, all right, and get out this uncomfortable nest, all right. You know, so we can get back to the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushua, man.
And this and going back to Revelation chapter 12, this place was prepared for us for a little moment. So this place was supposed to nourish us for a little moment, to this point that Elder Abba Bivens started waking up as Elijah started waking up, turning the hearts of the children back to the father, and the hearts of the father back to the children. So now when we started crying out from that moment, from that first cry of Abba Bivens, that first cry ignited it and started to make this place uncomfortable. Now we're seeing, because we're in the wrong state of mind, since we thought this was a comfortable place for us. So we were trying to seek refuge here, but no, this wasn't our home. This is a place for us just for a time period for us to be delivered and taken to the land that flowed with milk and honey.
Yep, that's right, man. All right, let's keep going over to 16.
All right, this is Deuteronomy 32 and 12.
Yeah, this is gonna bring out a lot of topics and precepts too. So
let me do 11 again. As an eagle stirreth up her nest, flutteth over her young, spreadeth abroad her wings, taketh them, beareth them on her wings. So the Lord alone did lead him, and there was no strange God with him. He made him ride on the high places of the earth.
Whoa, he made him ride on the high places of the earth. What did that mean? All right, so he made Israel to ride on the high places of the earth. We just read that. Well, he said he sent them in there and had them clear out all the parasites and all them. Sound like a insect, right? So he had Israel ride upon the high places. To ride means to conquer. All right, so he had us conquer all the leading nations in that area at that time. Go ahead, brother.
So the Lord lifted us up and caused us to take down those mighty nations, man. Go ahead. Read that again. Parable.
It says he made him ride on the high places of the earth, that he might eat the increase of the fields.
There you go.
And he
ate the increase of the field. Who that those Canaanites was in there preparing for us. All right, the Canaanites, they were building up the area, and we ate the increase of those fields. Ran them out of there.
And just look how Yahweh Shai flipped it on us now. We built this place up, and Esau eating the increases of it.
That's right, man. That's right. That's right.
All right, verse 13. He made him ride on the high places of the earth, that he might eat the increase of the fields, and he made him to suck honey out of the rock, and oil out of the flint rock.
There you go. And that really happened. All right, that's what it means. The oil out of the rock. That's literally talking about drink of the oil and honey. All right, because they got natural oil wells over there. Not oil wells, but oil mountains, olive, like the Mount of Olives. And then it said honey. They literally have they have a mountain over there where the bees create a beehive in the holes of the caves, in the holes of the mountain, man. So it's money, it's honey literally pouring out of the mountain. Come on, man. Picture that. All right. So that's gonna be a beautiful place, man, when we get there. And we're gonna something that hit me the other day, we're gonna be able to experience day and night. Imagine being in the kingdom and you can only experience day. That's beautiful. But imagine still having nighttime. He said day and night, our gates gonna be open. So we like to party at night. Man, listen, curfew, we're gonna be blowing. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta worry about the police pulling you over.
Police, man. Woo! Romantic with our women.
You got a permit. Then you really see, we don't understand what intimacy and love is on this side because it was taught to us by Esau. But Yahweh Shai is showing us what true intimacy and love is.
Yeah, man. It's crazy, man. All right, so you already went to 16?
Nope.
All right, let's keep going.
All right, verse 14. Butter of kine and milk of sheep, with fat of lambs and rams, of the bread of Bashan, and goats with the fat of the kidneys of wheat. And thou didst drink the pure blood of the grape.
There you go. So we got to that grape that Moses sent his men out to spy, man. The Lord had us eating the grapes of that place, man. We got to taste it. We got the taste of that land, and then we lost it. We were right there, But he had us that deep into that land that we got the taste of all the animals, all the grapes, the fruit. All right, so that was it.
Nope. Verse 15. But Jeshurun waxed fat.
Right, Jeshurun, right? What do it mean? The upright one? Go ahead. So it's like a poetic way of saying Israel in a sense. So Israel what?
It says wax fat and kick.
So Israel waxed fat. So they increased with all the riches that the Lord was just talking about, and then they rebelled against the Lord. All right, and that's how we ended up losing that land. But the Lord said, the ones that are in this truth, that promise is given to us, man. So this is what we should be thinking about, meditating on the kingdom. But it's more than just the land, we're gonna be fruitful. Go ahead, brother.
This is the book of Deuteronomy 40:40. Thou shalt keep thereof his statutes and his commandment, which I command thee this day, that I might go well with thee and with thy children after thee, and thou mayest prolong thy days upon the earth, which the Lord thy God, Yahweh Shai, given thee forever.
Right.
Yeah, they're talking about the right here, the New Jerusalem. The kingdom, the Most High has prepared for us. When the judgment comes and the mercy of Yahweh Shai, on us.
Right, brother. That's right. All right, he said gonna plug us up and plant us in our land again, man.
And that's why that way his eyes are always gonna be focused upon us.
Day and night, year round.
Because think about the scripture that in Deuteronomy that I read, that his eyes are always upon his land. So when he turned his face from us, he got us up out of the land.
Right. And also that's where Yahweh Shai is going to be at, man, in Israel.
All right, this is Deuteronomy 32:15. But Yeshurun waxed fat and kicked, thou art waxen fat, thou art grown thick, thou art covered with fatness. Then he forsook Yahweh, which made him, and lightly esteemed the rock of his salvation.
There you go. So lightly, they took the Lord lightly, man. They didn't want to honor him. And they said what? They were waxed fat with fatness, man. That's what riches. That's what fatness represents, man. All right. But we got rich and rebelled against the Lord. So now let's keep going.
There's one more verse.
There's one more. Okay.
It says, they provoked him to jealousy with strange gods, with abominations provoked they him to anger.
There you go, man. So they went after idols like Baal, you know, the Canaanite deity, you know, Nimrod and all that, man. And, Molech, going back to that golden calf that they built, them showing that they wanted to go back in Egypt. So that's where they got the calf from, Egypt. All right. So now, let's go to Psalms 81. And start.
Psalms 81.
Yeah. Let's start from 5.
All right, this is Psalms 81 and 5. It says, this he ordained in Joseph for a testimony when he went out through the land of Egypt, where I heard
I'm gonna go to the Russian sound.
It's Psalms 81 and 5. It says, this he ordained in Joseph for a testimony when he went out to the land of Egypt, where I heard a language that I understood not.
Right, so they were speaking the Egyptian tongue. And that's when you go back and you look up in Egypt and you'll see that there were Israelites that were slaves in Egypt. They were speaking the Egyptian tongue, but when they called out to the Lord, they called on Yahweh. And they got the writings on the wall, the writings in Egyptian writing, hieroglyphic type of writing, or whatever that tongue is. And then when it comes to the Lord's name, it was in Hebrew. All right. So that was around the time of Moses, because that's the only way they got the name. All right, they got the name through Moses. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 6 is it?
So they were speaking a language that our people never heard of.
It says, I removed his shoulder from the burden. His hands were delivered from the pots.
Right, so we were delivered out of slavery from Egypt, so the Lord can do it again. Okay.
Verse 7, it says, thou callest in trouble, and I delivered thee.
See that? So see that? Like the brother just read, we called when we were in trouble. All right. So now we're calling it while we're in trouble in a different language again, speaking English in different languages around the world. There was a brother over in Nigeria the other day. Somebody shared him. In Italy. Go ahead, brother.
Hey, yeah. But we're speaking in the native tongue, but just like in Egypt, we call it upon a true name, though.
Come on with it. Yeah, that's right. You know, you can't get to the name and then all of a sudden want to call on it in English.
IUIC.
IUIC, that's right, man.
And there's also a video of a Filipino in the Philippines. You know, he's speaking in the Filipino language, but we calling the Lord, he calling in those true names, Yahweh by Yahweh Shah.
Right.
Besides, they sing.
Yeah, nice and loud, y'all. Yeah, nice and strong too, brother. All right, where we at?
Back at verse 7 of Psalms 8, 30. All right, back at Psalms 80, 81 and 7. It says, thou callest in trouble, and I delivered thee. I answered thee in the secret place of thunder. I proved thee.
Right, the secret place of thunder. So the Lord answered in the secret place of thunder. What's that? When he met Moses, what was that called? The burning bush. And we represent that burning bush today. And the people are supposed to walk by the burning bush, and they're supposed to stop, just like Moses did, at the silent voice that's trying to speak to them, man. Go ahead, brother.
It says, I proved thee at the waters of Meribah.
Right. So the Lord proved Moses at the waters of Meribah. Now, even with that, the word Meribah means, I think, strife. And that the waters of Meribah is when Moses struck the rock, right? And the water came up. And that's when the Lord told Moses that he was not going to make it into the land of Canaan. All right, because he basically he rebelled against the Lord. But how did he rebel? Was it because he rebuked Israelites and called them rebels? No. Was it because what was the other reason they say? Oh, he didn't give thanks to the Lord?
Right.
It wasn't that. You know, what it was is he struck the rock twice when he was supposed to strike it once. All right. So he struck the rock twice when he only supposed to strike it once. Why? Because the Lord struck the rock. The Father struck Yahushua, but he didn't strike him twice. He struck him once. See that? So Moses striking the rock was supposed to represent Yahweh striking Yahushua. So it's supposed to be prophetic. So he was messing it up.
Right. That goes into Isaiah 53.
Yep. And then through his frustration, out of his anger, he's in his doubt, he struck the rock twice. And that's what the Lord was like, yo, you went against me, man. All right. So people teaching that it was because he went against the Lord, didn't give honor to the Lord, they're going off. Or if they're saying because he because he lifted up the serpent, or he rebelled, he called them rebels, they're going off, right? It's because he struck the rock twice in anger, which didn't go according to prophecy of Yahushua. So let's keep going.
All right, back at Psalms 81 and 8.
Right.
It says, "Hear, O my people, and I will testify unto thee, O Israel,
You got that?
if thou wilt hearken unto me."
All right. So he said, "Hear, O Israel." Go ahead. Still to this day, that voice is echoing through time, man. Okay.
Verse 9, it says, "There shall no strange God be in thee.
Right.
Neither shalt thou worship any strange God.
Right.
I am the Lord thy power, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, which brought thee out of the land of Egypt."
Right. Right. He brought us out 1446 BC. All right. We made it to the land around 1406 with Joshua. Go ahead.
"Open thy mouth wide, and I will fill it."
Right. So he said, open your mouth wide and he will fill it, man. Fill it with truth. He said, eat the roll. Consume the whole roll, right? Go ahead.
"But my people will not hearken to my voice, and Israel would none of me."
Right. So instead, they went chasing after their lovers. They went chasing after idols. They went chasing after other nations. As I did a lesson of a day, they snuff up the wind at their pleasure. Meaning they snuff up all their desires on the earth. You know, like a wild animal, a wild damn donkey, a wild jackass. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 12, it says, "So I gave them up unto their own heart's lust, and they walked in their own counsels."
That's right, man. Yep. So if somebody went into Christianity, the Lord left them to it. If somebody went into Islam today, the Lord left them to it. And it goes all the way back to that time when they started following after their idols, man. And the Canaanite idols, their philosophies. And then later on with the Assyrian Empire, the Syrian Empire, the Babylonian Empire, the Greeks, you know? Go ahead.
Verse 13, "Oh, that my people have hearkened unto me, and Israel had walked in my way."
Right. Oh, if we would have did that, we were right there. We got to taste the fruit of the land. You know? That's like that, like Esau. The Lord said it's gonna be like a dream when he wake up. He drinking water in his dream, and then he wake up, he's gonna be thirsty. You know, that's like us. We got the taste of the fruit, man. And we woke up, we in Babylon. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 14, it says, I should soon have subdued their enemies and turned my hand against their adversaries. The haters of the Lord should have submitted themselves unto him, but their time should have endured forever.
Right.
You going?
Yeah, over to 16.
All right. It says, he should have fed them also with the finest of the wheat.
There you go, see? All right, he was going to feed us with the finest of wheat. This is that land of milk and honey. All right, go ahead.
It says, and with honey out of the rock.
See that? The honey came out of the rocks, man. And now, spiritually, the Lord is doing that. The honey, the sweetness, the health that's out of the rock, Yahushua. But in the kingdom, we really going to have honey coming out of, I can't even imagine it. Like honey pouring down the rocks. I'm like, what could you do with it? I don't know. Like, would you eat honey every day? Or, you know what I'm saying? See, my mind don't think that way right now. But in the kingdom, we're going to know, the Lord going to show us exactly what to do with it, man. And we got eternity to experience it. The great experience of paradise with Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, man, for eternity. Every inch of this of paradise. All right. So let's get into Numbers 13 and 1. Numbers 13 and 1. We're going to skip to Numbers 13 and 16.
Book of Numbers 13 and 1.
Right. The Lord said, pride cometh before destruction. And a haughty spirit, a flight spirit before fall.
Also, a restless spirit. Book of Numbers 13 and 1. And the Lord Yahweh speak unto Moses, saying, send thou men that they may search the land of Canaan.
Read again.
Number 13 from the top.
Yep.
And the Lord speak unto Moses, saying, send thou men that they might search the land of Canaan.
Right, so that's when Moses, he said, Moses said what? Send, the Most High told Moses to send men that they may search out the land of Canaan before they go into it. All right, go ahead.
Which I give unto the children of Israel, of every tribe of their father, should ye send, amen.
Right, so he took every man out of these tribes. He took one man out of each tribe, all right, to go and spy out the land. Go ahead.
Everyone ruler among them.
Right, the top heads of our nation. All right, keep going, all the way to 2.
And Moses, by the commandment of the Lord Yahweh, sent them from the wilderness of Paran.
Right, so he sent them out. All right, so now can you go down to 16?
Number 13 and 16.
Yeah, we're going over to 27.
These are the name of the men which Moses sent to spy out the land.
You come up if you need to.
And Moses called Hoshea, the son of Nun, Yehoshua, no? Yehoshua, right?
I'm not there. Somebody there with him?
Number 16?
Yeah, go ahead.
It's Numbers 13 and 16. These are the names of the men which Moses sent to spy out the land. And Moses called Hosea, the son of Nun, Joshua, and Moses sent them to spy out the land of Canaan.
So he sent Joshua, the son of Nun. All right, and this Joshua was a Puerto Rican, tribe of Ephraim. Go ahead, brother.
It says, and Moses sent them to spy out the land of Canaan, and said unto them, get ye up to the way southward, and go up to the mountain, and see the land what it is, and the people that dwelleth therein, whether they be strong or weak, few or many.
Right, so that's a promise. The promise that the Lord was fulfilling, man. Going all the way back to Abraham, you know, the promise of the land. You know what I'm saying? Dealing with faith. So what was that last part?
It says, and see the land what it is, and the people that dwell therein, whether they be strong or weak,
right,
few or many.
There you go. So the Lord made them many, and He made them mighty people, man. All right, as an intimidation to our people, to show the power of the Lord. Go ahead. So He said, in weakness, the Lord's strength is made known.
It says, verse 19.
And He chose the weak things of the world to confound the mighty. That's right.
Want to get it?
Yeah, somebody grab
somebody grab First Corinthians chapter 1. It's like around 1 and 20, I think.
Yeah, we think.
First Corinthians 1 and 20. What is the wise? What is the scribe? Down.
It's 27, 26.
First Corinthians 1 and 26. For ye see your calling, brethren, how that not many wise men after the flesh, not many mighty, not many noble or called.
Right, so yeah, go ahead.
Number 27. But Yahweh has chosen the foolish things of the world to confuse the wise. And Yahweh Shai has chosen the weak thing of the world to confound the things which are mighty.
Right, so the Lord chose the weak things of the world, man. All right, to confound the mighty, man. Okay, so we were weak as a nation when we came out of Egypt, just like we're a weak nation now, you know.
And it's funny because Hosea and Joshua, their names kind of mean the same thing, like deliverer. All right, so now we're doing the same thing. Yahweh Shai is delivering us, but we're in the land right now, scoping everything out, warning the people. All right, giving message back to Yahweh by Shem Shai, what's going on in the land as we get delivered out of this place into our land.
Right, and that's parabolic. That's a omen dealing with Joshua, because since Moses wasn't allowed to take the children of Israel into Egypt, into the land of Canaan, Joshua was. All right, and Joshua, what it means is not only to deliver from danger, it also means to deliver into something. So the same way a doctor delivers you from the womb into this world, we're going to be delivered from this situation into our land.
Does Moses mean drawn out?
Yeah, Masha.
Masha means drawn out. Just like he drew us out of Egypt.
Drawn from the water.
We were drawn out of Egypt, and Joshua was the one that delivered us into the land of Israel.
Right. Yeah, we were drawn from amongst the people. Because the water, the sea represent people. All right. All right, let's keep going.
Let's keep going in Numbers.
Yeah, we gotta go all the way to 27. Somebody can pass it around if anything.
No, that's cool. I just need to know how far we need to
go. All right, no doubt.
Numbers 13 and 20. No, 19. It says, and what the land is that they dwell in, whether it be good or bad, and what cities they be that they dwell in, whether in tents or in strongholds.
Right.
And what the land is, whether it be fat or lean, whether it be wood therein or not.
Man, we got to see it. You know what I mean? Go ahead.
And it says, and be ye of good courage, and bring of the fruit of the land.
Right. Yeah. Go ahead. So this was Moses. This was the Lord telling Moses, and Moses telling these men to go out and bring back fruit of the land, and that the Lord was going to be with them in their travels, and they're going to be safe. You know, to be able to bring it back. So look and see everything, you know, and this is what they saw. Go ahead.
It says, now the time was the time of the first ripe grapes. So they went up and searched the land from the wilderness of Zin unto Rahab, as men come to Hamath, and they ascended by the south and came unto Hebron.
Right. So this had to be a little bit after springtime. Go ahead.
Where Abon, Shishai, and Talmai, and the children of Anak, where the children of Anak were.
No. Read that part right. Anak.
And the children of Anak were.
Right. That's what they. That's in Florida a lot. You got a lot of people that worship the Anunnaki. You know, the Anakims. You know, so that's where they get it from. It was nothing but them damn Africans, man. And they were what? They were giants, all right? You had the word Nephilim, which means fallen ones, but then you had the Rephaim, or Rephaim, which means the tall people, all right? And that's what they were. So, but these idiots today that worship the Anunnaki, well, they'll say the planet, what they call that? Nibiru. Yeah, all of that. That's the Anunnaki people.
So they're getting the Rephaim mixed up with the Nephilim, because we're the Nephilim, they're the Rephaim.
Right? So they were just tall.
They were just tall. They weren't renowned. They were just tall.
Right, and mind you, it was two nations that had that. Who? It don't matter who you think, who we think it is, but who we know it is. We know it was Ham, but there's one more. You can kind of feel it. Another nation that got giants. Moab. And that's biblical. That's in the Bible. We're gonna get it. That's why you got people like Yao Ming and all that. Yeah, they still got. Go ahead.
You seen them big Rush Hour?
Come on, with
Rush Hour, that big, tall.
Yeah, he taller than Yao Ming. Yeah.
I think the tallest person in the world is a Moabite.
Moabite.
Yeah.
So they got giants, man. They got real giants, like physical giants. And remember Manute Bol, look at Mutombo, Oh, we got it like Shaq. That's it. That's it. That's the best we can do. That's the best.
And he a little suspect too.
Kwame Brown? Nah, man. He ain't up there like that. Who else? We have Wilt Chamberlain. That's a Hamite. Yeah, that's a Hamite. All right, let's keep going though.
All right, it says, Now Hebron was built 7 years before Zoan in Egypt.
Right, well, yeah, 23?
Yeah.
Okay.
And they came unto the brook of Ishkol and cut down from thence a branch with one cluster of grapes.
Right.
So
So
this
these,
is what you were talking about?
come on, let's get into like a movie, right?
All
So
right.
these Israelites that were sent by Moses, they went into the land of milk and honey to cut down a tree and a branch. They saw the tree full of grapes. You know what I mean? Man, yo, I got somebody. Yo, we're gonna stick to this lesson. I got another lesson I want to bleed into this. Dealing with the dinosaurs and stuff. All right, we'll go ahead.
All right. It says, and cut down from thence a branch with one cluster of grapes, and they buried between two upon a stem, and they brought of the pomegranates and of the figs.
Right. So look, they brought of the pomegranates and of the figs, but it took two men to carry just a bushel of grapes. So you go buy a bushel of grapes today, yeah, it's like that. You can, and most of them rotten.
Yeah. Ain't got no season.
Yeah, and the pomegranates and something else, right? And the figs. But so they were that huge or that much, or it could have been that much, you know, so much of it. But it was just, how much was it? It said it. It just said a bushel.
Bushel, yeah.
That's it. So a bushel was so enriched, you know, and probably huge that it took two men to carry it, man. All right, that's our fruit. He probably brought a big grape back to Moses. Go ahead.
So that, imagine, because now that's prior to the curse that was put on the ground in Genesis. So imagine how big they were back then. So they started getting smaller and smaller over time. Yeah. But still, in that time period, it still took two men to carry a whole cluster of grapes.
Man, and the Lord definitely cursed the land today the way Esau deals with the soil. All right.
Verse 24.
Yeah, and with the seeds, man. You know, altering all the seeds. Go ahead, brother.
The place was called the brook of Eshcol because of the cluster of grapes which the children of Israel cut down from thence.
That's right. So it's still there waiting. That cluster of grapes still there. You know, or that tree, or that, you know. And it said that place was called the cluster of grapes. Go ahead.
It says, and they returned from searching of the land after 40 days. And they went and came to Moses and to Aaron and to all the congregation of the children of Israel unto the wilderness of Paran to Kadesh, and brought back word unto them and unto all the congregation, and showed them the fruit of the land.
The fruitful land. So it was a very fruitful land. All right, that's the focus of the land of milk and honey, man. But we're going to kind of start going to the parabolic sense of it too, the spiritual milk and honey. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 27. And they told him and said, we came unto the land whither thou sentest us, and surely it floweth with milk and honey. Whoa. And this is the fruit of it.
And this is the fruit of it. He had the fruit in his hand. He said, here go the fruit right here. All right. And he said, surely that land flowed with milk and honey, man. All right. And the milk also deal with cattle, and the honey represents the literal honey that was coming out of the rocks. All right. But now on the spiritual sense, the Lord says it's going to be filled with what? Health and safety, man. You know, and that's what you get from that, resources. So let's kind of go into that a little bit. Let's get 2nd Ezra 7 and 49. See where this goes. All the way to 53. We're moving quick because the storm supposed to storm a little bit. No, it's cool, but that's what I'm trying to fake us out.
It's the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 7, starting at verse 49. For what profit is it unto us if there be promised us an immortal time, whereas we have done the works that bring death?
Right, man. So yeah, you know, so it don't matter if we have that land and if we ain't righteous. You know what I mean? We wouldn't do nothing but transgress all over again. Yeah, defile that land, man. Go ahead.
And that there is promised us an everlasting hope, whereas ourselves, being most wicked, are made vain.
Yep, go ahead.
And that there are laid up for us dwellings of health and safety.
Whoa, what?
That there are laid up for us dwellings of health and safety.
That's your milk and honey right there. Dwellings of health and safety.
All right, that's in the kingdom. So the Lord got it laid up for us. Go ahead, safety. Go ahead.
Whereas we have lived wickedly.
Yep. So we live wickedly in the land, and the Lord have dwellings of health and safety for us. He gonna double up on it and say it again. Go ahead.
Verse 52, and that the glory of the Most High is kept to defend them which have led a weary life.
Right, because what's health? Health comes from milk. All right, milk represents the health and abundance, and the safety. You know, dealing with healing. You know, we safe. Go ahead.
Whereas we have walked in the most wicked ways of all.
Go ahead. That was it. I think it's more. All the way to 53.
Verse 53, and that there should be shown a paradise whose fruit endure forever, wherein is security and medicine, since we shall not enter into it.
Right. Read that again, brother, please.
All right. Verse 53.
What's that paradise? That was the land of Israel. Go ahead.
And that there should be shown a paradise whose fruit endure forever, wherein is security and medicine, since we shall not enter into it.
Right. So what does milk represent? The strength and security, and the honey represents medicine, healing. All right.
You say in the world, milk does the body good.
Milk does the body good. Yeah.
It strengthens the bones.
Right. That's right. And the scripture say also says like milk strengthens the bone, and honey is for healing. All right. So let's keep going. So
with the honey, you can see, you can put, you can put the honey in your pot, and
seal it up.
Yeah,
that's right.
That's what we used to do. Tree sap or honey. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what's gonna make it all better? Them giving us all their riches. It's putting them in slavery.
Just think about it though.
That's the band-aid.
We use honey for like a lot of stuff. Like my kids' allergies, I use honey. I use native honey from here, to help them with their allergies. But the bees aren't able to produce the potent honey as it was being able to be produced back in those times because of how the land is polluted. Man. The air is polluted, the land is polluted, so the trees and the flowers are polluted. So the pollination is not going to be, the honey isn't as potent as it used to be back then.
Right, man. I forgot that. Well, I think it was Gideon. I might be wrong, but I think his daughter asked him to name a water fountain after her. Whoever it was, I could be wrong, but it was a daughter, and the daughter asked this man to name the waterfall after her, and he gave her the waterfall. So we're gonna be doing that. We're gonna be able to do that for our children. See a waterfall, she's gonna say, "Can I have this one, Abba?" You're gonna say, "Yeah, that's yours now." But you're gonna need slaves to clean it. Get him, George Bush, come here. All right, we got a fine slave here for you. He's beaten in much gold and made it transparent. Take him, see what he can do. They're gonna have rankings, you know what I mean? We're gonna have them on ranking level.
This is 1 Kings chapter 4, verse 20. Judah and Israel were many as the sand which is by the sea in multitude, eating and drinking and making merry. And Solomon reigned over all kingdoms from the river unto the land of the Philistines and unto the border of Egypt. They brought presents and served Solomon all the days of his life. And Solomon's provision for one day was 30 measures of fine flour, 80 measures of meal, 10 fat oxen, 20 oxen out of the pastures, and 100 sheep beside harts, and roe bucks, and fallow deer, and fattened fowl. And it goes on to say, more about how his kingdom was, but that is something to come as well. That's gonna be they're gonna give gifts and tribute to us day and night. Our gates are never gonna be closed.
Yeah, we're gonna get that. Yeah. All right, somebody grab Isaiah 2:1. That's right. Even Queen Sheba came to see Solomon.
Brought a whole bunch of shit.
Yep. That's right, man. He didn't have sex with her, man. She had multiple men.
Yeah, he wasn't gonna defile himself. So the seed that was planted was wisdom.
Right. That's right. That was it. Yeah. Understanding. Go ahead.
This is Isaiah chapter 2, verse 1. The word that Isaiah, the son of Amos, saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem.
Verse 2. Verse 2, and it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of the Lord's house shall be established in the top of the mountains.
Right, so the government of Israel is going to be established in the top of the mountains again. Meaning they're going to ride upon these mountains again. The rulers of these nations, man. All right, what are you saying to her? We're going to ride on you. Tupac said, when I ride on my enemy. Right, man. Oh, yeah, we might get some rain real quick, but yeah, a little bit lighter. A little bit of light. Right. Yeah, anywhere it's red, it'll be lightning.
Lord thunder from heaven.
It shall be exalted above the hills.
So we're gonna be exalted above the nations, man. All right, so we were brought low, and we're gonna be exalted in the mountains and above these governments and these nations, man. Go ahead.
And all nations shall flow unto it.
Whoa, that was said the land flowing with milk and honey. So all these nations are gonna flow unto us as well. All right. Go ahead.
Verse 3. And many people shall go and say, come ye, and let us go up to the mountain of the Lord.
Right, the government of the Lord, man. Woo! Many nations gonna say, let's go see it, man. We gotta go see this Emerald City. What the hell are they doing up there? You hear their music? You know they hate us, they hate us partying. You know what I'm saying?
That's how you
They ain't gonna be able to call nobody this time.
Huh?
They ain't gonna be able to call nobody.
They ain't gonna call nobody. They got to call a ride to get there. Go ahead.
To the house of the God of Jacob.
Bro, the God of Jacob, not of the world. Okay. All right, the God of Jacob. Go ahead. Oh, we're going over to 4.
And he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths.
Right. So is the Lord going to teach them? No. It's going to be us. We're going and they're going to be taught at the end of a belt. A whip. You know what I'm saying? That's how these nations going to be taught. They're going to be taught a good lesson. They're going to get a spanking. Go ahead, brother.
While Zion shall go forth the law and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem.
Right, that's right, man. So out of Zion, oh, please don't do that right here. Not on camera, man. Yeah, see what I do. Feed the fan. Nah, we broke it down there. I was scared up in it. All right, what was that? That was it, right?
Yeah, that was verse 3.
Come on, man. Read that again, the last part. The last line.
And we will walk in his paths, for out of Zion shall go forth the law and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem.
So the Lord promised that we're going to be back in that land again, man. All right, it's going to start there. It's going to fill the whole earth. The Lord said his train is going to fill the whole earth. But then beyond that, the Lord said he got mansions out there for us. Many mansions. That means planets for us. We're going to do the same thing on those earths too, on those planets as well. All right, those are Ratazaz, So, yeah, go ahead, brother. Let's get Isaiah 60:1 all the way to 22. So, somebody can split it.
And this is the book of Psalms, chapter 22, and I'm going to start at verse 26. The meek shall eat and be satisfied. They shall praise the Lord that seek him. Your heart shall live forever.
Come on with it, man. Meaning they're gonna be in the kingdom forever, man. And that mind that the Lord gave to them it's never gonna go away. All right, and their heart is gonna be enlarged, and everything is gonna be enlarged with. It's gonna be the wealth of these nations, and we're never gonna lose that stuff. Go ahead, brother.
All the ends of the world shall remember and turn unto the Lord.
Right. Yep, the ends of the world. Yep, go ahead.
And all the kindreds of the nations shall worship before thee.
There you go. All right, so the ends of the world represent Israel repenting and turning back to the Lord. But these other nations, they're going to follow behind us. You know what I mean? But they're going to do it in slavery. All right? Anything I want to speak on, your point. So let's get that Isaiah 60:1.
It's Isaiah chapter 60, verse 1. Arise, shine, for the light is come, and the glory of the Lord is risen upon thee.
Right, so the Lord said, come out of darkness, arise and shine, man, because the promised land is about to be given back to us. All right, what the Lord promised, man. We about to get the taste of that fruit again, but this time it'll be forever.
Verse 2.
Yep.
For behold, the darkness shall cover the earth, and gross darkness the people.
Right, and that happened in slavery, and now it's getting worse and worse. Gross darkness, you know. But the Lord is going to shine upon who? The elect. Go ahead.
But the Lord shall arise upon thee, and his glory shall be seen upon thee.
Right, just like the day star arises in the morning, which will be the sun, you know. But the Lord, Yahweh, shall represent the day star of our heart. You know, he's going to rise in our spirit. You know, but at the crack of dawn, when the sun rises, the Lord is going to rise upon us, and not upon the others. It's going to be dark to them.
Verse 3. And the Gentiles shall come to and the Gentiles shall come to thy light, and
right.
kings.
No, you good. So what did the Lord say? The laws is our wisdom in the sight of the nations. And what is the wisdom? The light. So all the nations are going to come unto our light. All right. You see that? So they can see clearly, so they can come out of that darkness. There's going to be people like them Pakistanis, man.
Hey, quick interjection.
Yeah.
I can read the scripture. This Romans 11:11. I say then, have they stumbled that they should fall? Yahweh forbid, but rather through their fall, salvation is come unto the Gentiles, for to provoke them to jealousy. And that's, ultimately speaking on the Israelite foreigners amongst those other nations. And that's going to also provoke the heathen, right? The true heathen, the true Gentile, to jealousy, man. Right. The Lord is going to bring his people from amongst them as well throughout the four corners of the earth.
Right. What did the Lord say? The heathen shall envy thee?
Oh, shall not be able to do nothing.
They're going to be able to do nothing. That's right. The heathen shall envy thee, man. They're going to see it. All right? They ain't going to be able to do nothing about it. They ain't going to be able to take down that land or nothing, man. All right, let's keep going. Where we at?
Verse 3.
Verse 3, let's rock.
And the Gentiles shall come to thy light, and kings to the brightness of thy rising. Verse 4, lift up thy eye.
So kings gonna be brought to us, man. All the rulers, Putin and all of them. Dead kings that are back on this earth as babies. They're gonna say, yeah, there you go. There goes little Alexander. Bring him here. They're gonna say, but his name is Michael. No, that's Alexander. Bring him here. We know his spirit. All right. And the Lord gonna say, yeah, go over here and fish him out. He over there. He gonna cast out the judgments. He's being born right now. Go get him. Trump is being born right now back on the earth. Go get him. They can live out of slavery. Right.
This is Isaiah 14:1. It says, for the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel.
Right. So the Lord said, what? He gonna have mercy on Jacob and shall yet choose Israel. Go ahead.
And set them in their own land, and the strangers shall be joined with them.
Right, and set them in their own land, and the strangers are going to be joined with them, man. All right? So the Lord promising to set us in our own land. Okay? Go ahead. Yeah, all this stuff ain't got nothing to do with it.
Verse 4, lift up thy eyes, lift up thy eyes round about, and see all these gather themselves together. They come to thee. Thy sons shall come from far, and thy daughters shall be nursed at thy side.
Woo! All right. So what's that? He said they're gonna fly on the backs of the Philistines, the shoulders of the Philistines. Somebody know where that's at? But yeah, what that means is they're gonna be beating their ass. That's what it means. They're gonna be flying on their backs, kicking their ass all the way into the kingdom. All right. So our children are gonna be blessed all over the world. They're gonna be taking rides and ships and bringing them back to us. All right, go ahead. Yeah, anytime.
All right, this is the book of Isaiah, chapter 49, and I'm gonna start at 22. Thus saith the Lord, Yahweh, behold, I will lift up my hand to the Gentiles and set up my standard to the people. And they shall bring thy sons in their arms, and thy daughters shall be carried upon their shoulders.
There you go, man. All right, that's gonna be continuous. Remember when we were in slavery? What was that movie? Birth of a Slave, Birth of a Nation. When they had the little girl skipping, and she had the chain around the little girl's neck, and was riding her back like a little horse and shit. They're gonna be doing that. We're gonna be doing that. I might jump on the back of an Edomite or two.
know what I'm saying?
I'll jump on this apple and
Yeah, you know. So our children gonna be the same, man. They're gonna be like strong ass babies. You know, putting leg locks on Esau. Go ahead, brother.
And kings shall be thy nursing fathers.
Whoa, so kings shall be thy nursing fathers. What's that? They're gonna be giving up. What happens when you nurse? You give suck. So when you nurse, you give the milk over. So kings are gonna be giving up their riches. They're gonna be giving it up. Give it up. It's gonna be a stick up. Go ahead.
And their queens, thy nursing mothers.
Right, the same thing, man. Thy nursing mothers. All right, they're gonna take care of the children. They're gonna be midwives for the children, man. Mothers. What does mothers mean? They're gonna be concubines. All right, go ahead.
They shall bow down to thee with their face toward the earth and lick up the dust of thy feet.
There you go. And lick up the dust of our feet. All right, so they basically gonna be brought to a low condition. That don't mean literally gonna be licking your feet. I'm not gonna let them lick my feet. But these nations are gonna lick up the dust of our feet someday, man. They put us on the bottom. Now it's time for them to be put on the bottom. All right, by the Lord. Go ahead, brother.
And thou shalt know I am the Lord, for they shall not be ashamed that wait for me.
That's right, man. That's when it's gonna kick in. And you're gonna realize it's not a dream. And you're gonna see Yahweh Shai. You're gonna see the Father Yahweh. You know? And you're gonna know that He is the Lord. You're gonna realize it at that point. We already know it, but you're gonna know it by experiencing it. He said, name which no man knew but He Himself. That's the glorified form of Yahweh Shai. We haven't experienced that yet, and we're gonna get to experience that forever. All right. Go ahead. I think it's raining over there, but we'll see. Go ahead.
Isaiah 11:14. It says, "But they shall fly upon the soldiers of the Philistines toward the west. They shall spoil them of the east together."
Right, there you go. So they're gonna fly on the shoulders of the Philistines, the Africans. There you go. Them Africans about to get it. And he said they're gonna be spoiled. They're gonna spoil the other nations together. What's that? Remember the African we talked to? He said, "I will do this for you." So we're gonna use them Hamite nations to enslave Esau as well. All right, so our children gonna be commanding that. All right, go ahead, brother.
It says, "They shall spoil them of the east together."
Yeah, over in the east. Yeah.
"They shall lay their hand upon Edom and Moab, and the children of Ammon shall obey them."
There you go, man. Them Ammonites gonna obey Jackie Chan. They're gonna bow down, man. When they see what the nations of Israel do to Esau and them Africans, man, they're gonna bow down. They ain't gonna want no parts of it. You know, because they was one of our biggest enemies too, the Moabites, during the time of King Misha.
And in that day, one punch man gonna be Samson.
Right, man. All right, so where we at? That was it. Somebody read over to 16?
Oh no, we still in Isaiah.
That's there, right? Yeah, 16. And one all the way to 22.
All the way to 22.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Hey, if I may add on too, hey man, think about it too. That's why I like a war tactic, man. Hey, you take out the head honcho in charge, so therefore who take out the head honcho, they not in charge, so everybody else follow suit behind the new head honcho, man. And that's what the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushua go do. That's why he raising up Esau as he did with Pharaoh, man. You know why? So he can exalt his power, man. So therefore, when the Lord take over, all these other nations are gonna follow suit, man. Right. You know?
We have Isaiah 60.
Yep.
Where you left off?
Yep.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 60, verse 5. Then thou shalt see and flow together.
Right, so we're gonna see and flow together. Who is that? The northern tribe and the southern kingdom. We're gonna see and we all gonna flow together. Think about it, man. It get beautiful and beautiful, right? You sitting at home in Jerusalem, in Judah, or whatever tribe you in, jeweled up, glowing, fruit of the earth, family, women, animals, giant tigers and shit, dinosaurs with feathers. We realized that the other day. I was studying dinosaurs. Realized Esau lying to us. They look nothing like Jurassic Park. And that was made up by Steven Spielberg. They never looked like, even before they used to have dinosaurs as a T-Rex head with a fish body. So they never knew what they looked like. You know, but recently they found out that they had feathers and they had all kind of colors on them. And the raptor
Raptor? It wasn't this big. It was only that big, like a pit bull, like a bird. So it's gonna be beautiful, man. We're gonna have all kind of animals and stuff.
You look at a cassowary or ostrich, they were like that.
Yeah,
they're like that. They have the same raptor.
Bird in the bird family. That's right, man. So now we're gonna have all that, and then you realize, oh man, let me see what Ephraim doing. And you go over there, they glorify, because remember the ephod of Aaron. They had different colored jewels, and the jewels represent different glorifications of Israel. They're gonna be glorified on the same level, but a different vibe, man. A different vibe to each one. You know, so we're gonna go over and see what the Gadites doing, huh?
It's like an animal for this tribe too.
What's that?
It's like an animal, like a symbol of an animal for this tribe.
Oh no. It was the color. It's in Revelation where it talk about the 12 gates. And it tell you each one is gonna be because with Aaron's ephod, all that got destroyed, and we would discontinue from our heritage, right? But now, when the jewels are going to be repolished and renewed. All right, so they're going to have a different shine to it. All right, like you put a light through a diamond, you know, a stone, a prism. Go ahead, bro.
All right, come on. Back at Isaiah 60:5. Then thou shalt see and flow together, and thy heart shall fear and be enlarged.
Whoa, so we're going to see all the riches of the Gentiles given unto us. You're going to see ships out there. You're going to see all the women. You're going to see animals. You're going to see them bringing everything to us, the slaves. And you're going to realize, like, this is what the Lord was talking about. So that part of the prophecy got to happen too. And he said, your heart going to be enlarged. You're going to be like, yo, all this for me? And before you think it, the Lord going to bless you. Before you think it in your heart, it's already going to be showing up at your shores. The same way they bring ships to the docks of America, you're going to have ships showing up to the docks of your house. Go ahead up.
Because the abundance of the sea shall be converted unto thee.
There you go. The abundance of the sea going to be converted unto thee. How they going to get it over here? Through ships. All right. And we're going to send out our children to go over there and take these nations on ships to bring it back.
The forces of the Gentiles shall come unto thee.
Right. The forces of the Gentiles, everything they have is going to come unto us. Go ahead.
Verse 6, the multitude of camels shall cover thee.
Right, go ahead.
The
dromedaries?
Dromedaries.
That's like camels and mules.
It's a one-up camel.
The dromedaries of Midian and Ephah, all they from Sheba shall come.
Right, so there goes Sheba again. Them Africans, go ahead.
They shall bring gold and an incense.
Right, because over there near Sheba is where the gold of Euphaz is really at. Okay, that's pure gold. So they're gonna bring all kind of gold to us. All the gold on the earth gonna be brought to Israel, and it's gonna be laid out on the ground. It's gonna be used to manicure and detail the kingdom. That's right, man. We gotta use royal talk right now. We act like rich. Yeah, they talk. Yeah, go ahead, brother.
And they shall show forth the praises of the Lord.
Right, man. So yep, they're gonna show forth the praises of the Lord, man. We're gonna get to see these nations praise our God, man. That's what we're waiting for. You know? And we're gonna praise, well, actually Israel gonna show forth the praise of the Lord. Go ahead.
Verse 7, all the flocks of Kedar shall be gathered together unto thee.
Yep. All the flocks, all the animals. Go ahead.
The rams of, how you say that?
Yeah.
Nabaoth.
Yep.
All the rams of Nabaoth shall minister unto thee. They shall come up with the scepters on mine altar, and he will glorify the house of his glory.
That's right, man. So the Lord gonna glorify the house of his glory. See, it's not our kingdom, it's Yahweh's kingdom. And mind you, he the one that established the Garden of Eden. He the one that established the land that flows with milk and honey. So imagine what he gonna do with us. He want to establish everything we see in the universe. So imagine what he gonna do with the nation of Israel. They say, I have not seen, man, nor ears heard what the Lord has waiting for them that love him. Right?
Verse 8, who are these that fly as a cloud
And that's the dove to the window.
Whoa, what's that? Who are these, vocab? That fly in the cloud to their doves, to their windows. Let's go Revelation. Yeah, one second. Verse 12. Let's see who has a dove flying to their windows. Revelation, I think it was 18 and 12. 20, 21 and 12.
Revelation 21 and 12. And had a great wall, great and high. It had 12 gates, and the gates 12 angels, and the names written thereon, which are the names of the 12 tribes of Israel.
Oh, the Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, 12 tribes of Israel. All right, so that was the gates. The gates are those windows. So who are these that's flying like doves, man, being anointed and renewed and refreshed and white, made white, flying to their windows, to their place, to their lot? It's gonna be the children of Israel. All right, we may have to cut it, maybe take a break. Yeah. Might be faking this out. Huh?
Look, I felt it right now.
That one about to move though.
It's right here. I just saw it drop.
All right, let's rock. Let's grab these signs. We're gonna shut it down for right now. Y'all write this out. We can finish this later.
Shalom.
All right, where was that? Isaiah 60 and 68. All right, okay.
Hey, what happened?
Huh?
Hit this?
Yeah, just hit that. And then
Here?
No.
Here.